Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. My name is INTERWEBS and I'm so happy that you're here. In this video, I'm going to be sharing all the tips and all the things that you need if you're coming to Lebanon from Nigeria or with a Nigerian passport. These are the requirements, the things you need to pay, things you don't need to pay for, and all of those things. Coming up after the break. Okay, so the very first thing, I want to make sure this video is as short as possible, so I probably shouldn't have said that. It's just making the video longer. But anyway, so the first thing that I would say is your flight ticket, of course. There are many options that you need, or there are many options that you have if you want to book a ticket to Lebanon. You can book a direct flight from Lagos to Beirut on Middle Eastern Airlines, MEA, but it's very expensive. I mean, relatively expensive. You can book Egypt Air, which is about, so the direct flight is about 5 hours or 6 hours tops. Egypt Air is about 5 hours something to Egypt, and then 1 hour plus to Beirut. So it's probably like 6 hours, but then you still have a layover in Egypt. That one is moderately expensive. And then there's me. I took Ethiopian Airlines, which was I would say very cheap, but it was relatively cheap, but then it took a longer time. Now, I'm trying to keep my trip within $1,000. It's a budget trip for me. So I tried as much as possible to inconvenience myself here and there, just to, meet up with that budget. So my Ethiopian Airlines ticket cost 253,400 naira. Right, so the Egypt Air that I saw was $685. MEA was $1,100 something. I'm like, that's my whole budget for the trip, so no. And then the reason I actually booked Ethiopian Airlines because I didn't want to pay in dollars. On Egypt Air, you'd pay in dollars. I had dollars. I'd save for my travels and I spend on my travels in dollars, so it's a lot easier for me. So yeah, I had dollars and I wanted to just convert it to naira and then pay the naira equivalent with Ethiopian Airlines. I could do that there, but I couldn't do that on Egypt Air. So if you want to do something like this, if you're considering cost, then yeah, you should definitely check out Ethiopian Airlines. It was 5 hours to Addis Ababa and then 4 hours to Beirut. So yeah. Now, the next thing is hotels. So you need to have a hotel booking. They would ask you for your hotel bookings before you actually take off in Ethiopia. Not in Ethiopia, in Nigeria. If you're traveling, from wherever you're traveling actually, they would ask you for that. So you need to have your full hotel bookings for as long as you're going to stay. Now, I booked it's anything you want to book. If you have an electronic copy, if you want to use Airbnb, booking.com, you actually want to go to the hotel website and book, that's fine. You can just do whatever you want, but just have your bookings or ready, your reservations ready, and handy as a document, right? Because they'll take pictures and then they'll keep it and all that. Yeah, so that's that. Flight, hotels. The next thing for me, they didn't ask for it, but then I always have travel insurance. So I had my travel insurance. I typically would get from Alliance. I got travel insurance from Alliance. It cost me about $1,800 just for this trip to Lebanon. 1,800 naira. 1,800 naira. Actually, it was actually not that bad. It was like the least package that he had because I'm on a budget, and I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of adventurous things like jumping off cliffs and climbing mountains and all of that. Even though I plan to paraglide, but yeah, let's just hope I don't need the insurance. Yeah, so travel insurance, you could show them. They wouldn't ask you for it, but then it was with my documents, so I had to show them. Yeah, and then the next thing is PTA. So you need cash of at least $2,000. Yeah, they will check, and yeah, they will count it at the counter. Okay. Well, yeah, like they will count it like when you're checking your documents and everything before you check in actually. So yeah, they would count it, and then at first what it said on the website was $1,000 per person, and that was what I had on me. I don't like to travel with a lot of cash so that I don't spend everything that I have. It's a solo trip, so it's just me, obviously, and then I had 1,100. I had 1,100 on me in cash, and then I had already done everything. I didn't really need cash with me, but then so I took 1,100 because I knew I had to pay visa fees. So I had to go out of the airport building to go to change my dollars. I changed dollars at 617. 617. I bought dollars for 617 naira to $1. Yeah, so I just had to do that because they wouldn't even accept dollars that I had in my card. It has to be cash. They would actually show you that dictionary thing that they have at the airport. Anyway, long story, if you have a Nigerian passport, you definitely have to have $2,000 in cash for you to board from Nigeria, from the Lagos airport, Ethiopian Airlines. That was the lady at the desk at Ethiopian Airlines said I had to do 2,000, but maybe some other airlines might be lenient or more lenient, I don't know, but that was it. I had to have $2,000 in cash. The next thing is vaccination, COVID test and all of that. If you've not taken your third, that's your booster shot, you're not considered fully vaccinated, except you took your second shot within the last 6 months. So I took my own vaccine last year, I think June. I took the second shot in July, or I think August and September basically, but it had passed 6 months since I took my second shot. So I took the third shot last month, and then yeah, I didn't even realize that I had to have taken the third shot to be considered fully vaccinated. So if you're fully vaccinated, that's you've taken your third shot or you took your second shot within the last 6 months, you're free to go into Lebanon without a PCR test, no test, just have your vaccine card and they'll let you in. If you're not fully vaccinated, which means you either haven't taken your third shot since you took your second shot more than 6 months ago, or you have not taken your second shot at all, or you've not completed your dose, then yeah, you'd have to do a COVID test, and then you have to have a COVID test for your Lebanon trip. So yeah, that's for vaccine. The next thing is visa. So Lebanon is visa on arrival for Nigerians. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people think, like you can only travel to countries in Africa, like Ghana or Senegal and stuff, visa free. But if you do your research, you realize that there's a lot of the world that you can see with your Nigerian passport. Regardless of how weak it is, with your Nigerian passport, there are a number of places you can see. They might not be visa free, but the visa is actually very easy to get. Like it's visa on arrival, or maybe it's e-visa or something. So just do as much research as you can. So yeah, Lebanon is visa on arrival. And then I had to pay $20 for the visa. So you pay, it's a sticker visa of the sort. You pay $20. I was staying for 7 days, so they asked me how long I was going to stay. I said 7 days, and then you're like, oh, okay, $20. So from what I read, it was $40. If you're staying longer, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I'll leave the link that you're supposed to check in the description, so you can just go right there and then check for all the detail thingies that I already mentioned. But yeah, so I paid $20, and yeah, so it cost me $20 for the visa, and then I got in. Now, these are the things that you need if you're coming to Lebanon with a Nigerian passport. One thing that you also need to know is that they would harass you at the airport. Like, it's not even, at first what happened was I went to check in. After checking in, I went to immigration, and then after the guy looked at my passport, he asked me, where are you going? I said Lebanon. And he looked at me again. He was like, go to that side, like go and meet the other guy at that desk. And I was just like, okay. Like, he just looked at me in a certain way. I was like, okay, what's going on? And then I had to go to the other guy. I met him. He wasn't wearing like the immigration uniform. He was just wearing a white kaftan. And I was like, oh, hello. And then, I just tried to be as friendly and as cool and do my puppy dog face. It didn't work. So I was like, hi, hello. And then he was like, hello, where are you going? I said, Lebanon. So what are you going for? What's happening there? I said, I'm just tourism. I was like, okay, are you going alone? I said, yes. And he was like, oh, I'm answering too fast. Why am I answering too fast? I was like, I don't know, they're simple questions. So I was like, oh, I'm so sorry if you can hear any sounds. The road is just right here. But yeah, and then he was like, oh, are you going alone? I said, yes, I'm going alone. What's really happening in Lebanon? I said, nothing. What do you mean, really? Nothing is happening. So I played dumb a little bit. Not like I don't know why he was asking those questions, but I was like, oh, and pray tell. It's not only pray tell. I was like, yeah, just like, why is this so? What's the problem? He was like, you know what, that he knows that I don't look like that. Like, looking at me, he can tell that I'm not that kind of person. But okay, profiling, but sure. I mean, it's positive, but yeah, I mean, that means you look at some people and think, oh, they're these kind of people, even if they're not. But then he was like, oh, okay, there's some countries that are in the red alert zone for them at immigration. If you want to go to India, he mentioned India, Pakistan, Bahrain, Lebanon, Egypt, and he said Baghdad. If you're going to Baghdad, Qatar. So basically, Middle East. If you're going to the Middle East, they would actually just look at you and then take you to one corner, and then they'll ask you questions and questions and questions. And then so they questioned me and everything, and I was like, it's like, oh, okay. So anything for the boys, bless the office. And I was like, I don't have anything. I only have dollars. I don't have nothing anymore. I was like, yeah, then they accept all currency. I'm like, bro, what do you mean you accept all the currencies? And then so it was just I ended up not giving him any money. He was like, oh, that let him take my number. He's like, I should take his number, that when I'm around, that we should hang out and stuff. I was like, oh, sure, give me your number. So I took the number. And took the number. And then I just like left. And then he said, oh, I have to meet this guy. He was like, oh, if he clears me now, there's another guy that will still stop me. It was long story. So I had to meet that guy. That one started talking about how he wants to go into. So I was like, what am I going to Lebanon to do? I said, I'm just a tourist. I'm going to see the world that the Lord my God has made. Like, what's really going on? And then he was like, oh, that's something, that this country is blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of trafficking, prostitution, drug trafficking, human trafficking. He mentioned some other advices and some other things. I was like, I get it, I understand. And a part of me is happy that, that they're doing these things and they're taking these measures. But, I mean, I know that, money will exchange hands and then they will let people go, even though they are not supposed to. Like, if they see that a woman was clearly being trafficked, someone could just pay their way out of it, and that's the sad part. But yeah, anyway, I'm good that the measures are in place in the first place. So the guy made me talk about how he studied communications and stuff, and he wants to go into blogging and all of that. That was after I told him that, I just travel. He was like, okay. The first thing he asked me was, you're going to Lebanon. Okay, where have you traveled to before Lebanon? And then I started listing. I said Senegal, Gambia, Ghana, Mauritius, Egypt. He was like, Jordan. I was like, wait, just this year? I was like, oh, no, not just this year. Then I listed the countries I've been to this year. I was like, oh, okay. He looked at my passport, flipped through the pages, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm a travel blogger, I'm a travel creator. So I had to show them my Instagram. He's like, let me see. Show them my Instagram, show them my YouTube, show them my Twitter. And then he was like, that was when he now believed that, okay, yeah, whatever. But anyway, that's long story short. They eventually let me go. He took my number. He sent me a WhatsApp message yesterday. I saw it. It was like, save journey. Save the journey. So I was like, I'm the guy you met at immigration. I was like, okay, normal now. So I've not replied the message since then. So yeah, and then I got to Lebanon, and then I got to immigration again, and then I had to buy the sticker. After I stood on the queue for almost 45 minutes, right? I stood on the queue for 45 minutes, and then it got to my turn, and then they said, I couldn't go in. I couldn't just get like a stamp and go in. I had to go and buy a visa, like a sticker. So I had to go and wait for the guy. This was around 4 a.m. by the way. We landed 3:45 a.m. This was around 4:30 or almost like 2:05. Then so I had to go to the office, buy the sticker, the sticker visa, and then come back for the guy to pass me, like stamp and then do all the things. And I had to wait for the guy that was selling the visa, because apparently not a lot of Nigerians were, we used to come there. Not a lot of people who needed those sticker visas were coming. So the guy was jobless and he just didn't show up at the duty post. So yeah, I had to wait for him and all of that. So blah, 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 blah. I ended up getting the sticker visa, and I left the airport around past 5. So that was 1 hour 45 minutes, I think. 1 hour 15 minutes, I'm not sure of the math, but yeah, 1 hour 15 minutes after I landed. I had to wait, and yeah, so that's basically everything I needed when I was coming from Nigeria to Lebanon, and what I needed when I was here in Lebanon at the airport. So going back, if you're fully vaccinated, you need to fill a form online. You don't need to take a PCR test again in Nigeria. If you're fully vaccinated, just fill the form, and then when you go back, you drop the form, and then you're cleared to go. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and then so that more people who want to see this kind of content will see it. And please hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of my travel videos, travel requirements, travel inspiration, all of those things. I've been very lazy with like my travel vlogs, but yeah, I would try to upload as much as I can moving forward, as much as my energy will allow me to. But yeah, it would be very nice if you subscribed, and then if I saw you in my next video. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one.